Good afternoon. This afternoon I would like to welcome you to Kyrene's Introduction to the Violin video, Lesson 3. In Lesson 3 we will talk about reading music and note lengths, and we'll also be talking about the treble and bass clef. So to begin with, we're going to talk about how to read music. In music, there are 5 lines which are called ledger lines. The note on the bottom line is called E. On the second line from the bottom, the note is G. On the third line from the bottom, or the middle line, the note is B. And for the fourth line from the bottom, the note is D. And then finally, the fifth line from the bottom, the note is called F. Now, between those lines, there are also 4 spaces. And the note on the bottom space is called F. The note on the second space from the bottom, A. The note on the third space from the bottom is called C. And then the note in the fourth space from the bottom is called E. Now there's a name for the combination of the ledger lines and the spaces, and that's called the staff or stave. In order to remember the notes on the lines and spaces, you can use what's called a mnemonic. And basically that means a system of letters to help you remember something. So for the notes on the lines, we can use every good boy deserves fruit. And for the notes in the spaces, we can use face, F-A-C-E. Now, for the bass clef notes, it's actually different. So for the lines, the note on the first line on the bottom is G. Then on the next line from that, it's B. The next line is D, followed by F, and then finally A. For the spaces, on the bottom space, the note is A, the next space, C, the next one, E, and the next one, G. The mnemonic you can use for this is good birds don't fly away, for the lines, for the notes on the lines, and all cows eat grass, for the notes in the spaces. Now, we're going to talk about the treble and bass clef. You might be wondering what these are. So basically, both of them are signs that you find at the start of each line of music, and they both determine the pitch of the notes to be played. And the treble clef is actually for higher instruments and for higher ranged voices as well. And some of the instruments that use the treble clef include the violin, the flute, piccolo, or trumpet, for example. And in regards to the treble clef, it's also called the G clef because it sits on the same line that the note G sits on. As for the bass clef, it's actually for lower pitched instruments. For example, the left hand of a piano, the cello, or the double bass, or the trombone. Now we are going to move on to note length. So the longest, most common note in music is called the semibreve, which is 4 crotchet beats. Then the next one we have is called a minim, and it's 2 crotchet beats. Then it gets shorter, and we have the crotchet, which is only 1 crotchet, so just 1 beat. And then there's also the quaver, which is half of 1 crotchet beat. And then we have the semiquaver, which is 1/4 of a crotchet beat. Then we get smaller again, and we have a demi-semiquaver, which is 1/8 of a crotchet beat. However, the demi-semiquaver is uncommon, and the rest, the semibreve, minim, crotchet, quaver, and semiquaver, are all common. Sometimes in music you have a dot next to a note, and that basically adds on whatever half of the note is that's already been written down on the music. So for example, if you have a minim and there is a dot to the right of it, that's equal to a minim plus 1 crotchet, because a crotchet is half of a minim. crotchet is 1 beat and a minim is 2 beats. So therefore a dotted minim is 3 beats. That's it for today's lesson. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to doing another video. Bye.